Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We're just going to wait 1 or 2 minutes. I see there's a lot of people dropping in right now. Wow, still a lot of people joining. I think this is the biggest webinar we've ever hosted, so I'm excited to have everyone here. All right, I think everyone has joined. If you have any colleagues that are missing, you can send them the link and they can join. First of all, welcome to all of you. My name is Marcus. I'm the CEO at Hostaway. And with us, we have a very special guest, Mr. Luis Villanova from Booking.com, who will share some really valuable insights in a few moments. Yeah, the topic today is travel trends from 2021. I was the whole last year while we have been working on improving our service and our product. We have also spent a lot of time talking to our customers. Many of you are here today. It's nice to almost see you. And when I asked them what do you need, they said, well, we need direction. And I started wondering where can we get that? How can we know what's going to happen? Last year was quite unpredictable, and maybe in some regions this year is unpredictable too. And I reached out to Booking.com and I said, look, you have all this data, and I know that it's secret. It's secret. It's your innermost business secrets. But our property managers, they're hungry and eager. They want to know what's going on. What are the big trends that you can see that they can capitalize on, benefit on? Because travel has changed, and it's probably going to keep changing. We've seen a shift in the travel demand that has shown before last year, but last year really accelerated a couple of trends. So I'm very happy to have Booking.com here and present their findings. Yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar with Hostaway, we are a property management solution and a channel manager. We're also a premier partner of Booking.com, which is the reason why we're able to organize this webinar for you today. If you'd like to evaluate your current solution or are interested in finding out more, just go to hostaway.com and enter your name and email address, and we'll be in touch. But yeah, let's get started. So Luis, welcome. How are you doing today?
Hey Marcus, all good here. Thank you for the introduction and thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, perhaps you'd like to share where are you based and who are you working with?
Yeah, I'm based in Northeast Brazil. Let me introduce myself. So my name is Luis. I'm based in Brazil. I'm working for Booking for the last 8.5 years, let's say like this. I started my journey with Booking as operational teams, as an account executive. Then I moved to the account management teams, handling hotels. And then I moved to connectivity. Today, I do manage different accounts globally. So besides being based in Brazil, it means that I do have accounts all over the globe. That's working with Booking.com as a dedicated partner manager, as you, a premier partner. You have also this dedicated account management from my side and from our teams. Just let me get it started. So let me quick share my screen. Just like put it here. I guess everyone can see my screen right now. So one thing that I was talking to Marcus and looking at the trends of the future, Booking as a global company, we ran a research from last year. So we asked our travelers, our guests, what are the impacts and the expectations that they do have for the future of travel. And we were able to gather a few insights. That's what I'm going to share here. And this research we made for like during 1 year globally. It was all the countries. We go over like 20,000 travelers across 28 markets to find out to have those findings. And these ones are pretty much the topics that we have found. There are 9 topics here that influence the way people are traveling, that influence the way that things are going, and that's what I'm going to show to you, our findings on that one that maybe can clear up, set up expectations for this year and see how can we, each key player will play a role on that one to make sure that travel goes on and picks up again in the near future. The first one is what we call wanderlust. So while we're trying to while there continue to be new waves of travel hiatus, restrictions are ongoing. Lockdowns open up back and forth, and it's unpredictable. But 50% of the travelers, they haven't heightened the desire to see even more of the world. We also see that in different trends. For example, Generation Z, 51% and 49% of the millennials, they intend to travel. They see, more desire to travel. Although that, I will show a little bit later, changes a little bit on the scope for like long travels across the globes to more like close travels, driving distance, or anything related to that. Anticipation for travel has remained high. During recent lockdowns, 2/3 report being excited about traveling again, while 61 indicated they are more appreciative of travel and will not take it for granted in the future. Moving on, vital
I could
values.
maybe mention
Sure.
here that the heightened desire, it's not only to see more of the world, it's also to see it in different ways. From a lot of the property managers that I've spoken to, they have even though the portfolios of properties tend to be the same, you always have a few that stand out. I know one property manager in Southern California that also operated a jet stream trailer park. And he said last year it had been more popular than ever because people have been doing vacation rentals, apartments, hotels, and villas, but they just wanted to try something new. And that's why he saw the highest ever occupancy rates on those jet stream trailers, which I found really fascinating.
Yeah, and on that piece as well, Marcus, we see that shifting travel, people want to travel, but safety comes first in some, at some point. And the experience for the vacation rental, especially, we see a rise on that one because it's just like I'm here. It's just like my home outside my home, where I can see different things and just escape, during a few days, a weekend or a weekend, or in different times. But yeah, we saw that highs rising in our side as well. Excuse me. Vital value is pretty much something that you've been, talking about. Sorry. The coronavirus had impact on the bottom line for many travelers. Moving forward, we'll inevitably see people demand better value. 68% of the global travelers expecting travel companies to support their future travel plans via promotions. That's one thing. The financial legacy of coronavirus will be unavoidable. And that will bank for like 62% of the travelers will be more price conscious when it comes to searching and planning a trip. And 50% of the travelers will likely to hunt down promotions and savings. That's another trend that we will see upcoming forward for this year. So attracting those guests that want to go out, pricing will have a high impact, and the perception that those guests have, shifting from the travel from the across the globe to our local travel.
Yeah, I could maybe share on our side also regarding this. There's the type of properties that have been doing well have been mostly those that where the audience hasn't been affected. So people who have been able to travel as before and had the financial means. But there's also a large audience out there who are basically waiting for these offers. And when that audience starts traveling again, it's very important to be able to position yourself in a way that you present promotions, because they will be comparing not only vacation rentals, there will probably be good specials on airplane tickets, there will be good specials on car rentals, on cruise trips, on all sort of travel related topics. And people who are out looking for deals, it's important, if you want to attract those type of guests, to ensure that you have the right promotions in place. Fortunately, you can manage that all from Hostaway if you're a Hostaway customer.
Yeah, and to add on that, we also see that clear information is also going to be vital, right? Everything that relates to pricing is going to be vital. So you have to be very clear on that expectations, also on refunds, cancellations, or anything that comes on the way. So that's going to play a key on the new scenario. For the next one, you see here, families, not tourists. What happened is just like 50% of the global travelers intend to travel somewhere they've already been privileged for its familiarity. It meaning people are coming back for a place that they explored once. Sometimes you can see that on the local trends, seeing people, for example, where here I live, we have a lot of beaches. It's easy for people to go there back in the past, but they don't return there. And now we see that people are going back to that destiny once again, even they have been there. So 47% of people still plan to travel within their own country in the medium term, meaning 7 to 12 months time, with 38% planning to do so in the longer term, over a year time. So there is still the plans to travel. 43% wants to explore a new destination with their home region country. And 46% will take the time to appreciate the natural beauty of the home country. I can give you a clear example, like here in Brazil is a continental country, let's say like this, it's really big, but the trends before pandemic, it was pretty much like flying abroad, especially to the US or Portugal, let's say like this as an example. And now we see all the movement is still happening. The borders are closed, but we still see people traveling and discovering Brazil itself as a huge country that people haven't been able to do so. Escapism, so seeking comfort and distraction during weeks in lockdown. Majority, 95% of the travelers spend time looking for vacation inspiration, with over a third looking at a potential travel destination as often as once a week. As restrictions continue, to affect the flow, we can expect destinations and accommodations to come up with even more inventive ways to capitalize travelers' heightened desire to escape reality and connect them with the experience that waits. From accommodation revamping their social media presence by leveraging content created by influencers who visit pre-lockdown, to local tourist boards creating inspirational content of those destinations. Over half, 51%, favored looking through online search engines for this perfect getaway, while 36% turn to chatting with friends and family to spark their post-lockdown travel plans. The desire is still there. A lot of people want to travel, and while they cannot travel, there's still the search. They're still trying to find the perfect place to go, or even, the getaway on that one. Still 32% took a trip down memory lane and looked through old photographs from previous vacations. And that's where, at some point, people will start traveling back to some place they have already been. The next one that we find is around safety cleans, meaning everyone is being careful. Pandemic is moving away. We see some lights in the end of the tunnel for some regions, for some not yet. But that means that all of them are looking for safety, right? So meaning that adapting yourself, adapting the equipment that you have, ensuring that safety is in place, people are willing to travel again. Global travelers, around 79% that answered our research, will take more precautions due to coronavirus and will look to the travel industry to help them gear up for this new normal. Government, travel associations, and providers will have to work together to set constant standards to keep travelers safe. 59% of the travelers will avoid certain destinations, and 70% expect tourist attractions to adapt to allow social distance. At the same time, 70% will only book a particular accommodation if it's clear what health and hygiene policy it has in place. Even three quarters, 75%, favoring accommodations that have antibacterial and sanitizing products. Just as we have become accustomed to traveling without liquids in our carry-on luggage and removing shoes to go through the airport security, 2/3 will accept traveling to destinations that have health spot checks on arrival, and 62% will accept wearing a mask in public.
One thing I could add here is that the way you can use this to your benefit is by editing the description, sometimes even the title. Something that I see is quite common and that actually drives good results is mentioning these policies in the description. But one thing that I've seen a lack of is how property managers market to the different audience they have right now compared to what they had previously. So, for example, instead of just mentioning the cleaning protocols at the place you're renting out, you could also mention in the description, what is life like? What is it like? Are the restaurants open? For example, if you're in a place where restaurants are open, that can be a massive selling point. That's way more important to a traveler than whether you clean 2 hours or 5 hours after a stay. And that's something that you can also use in the description. It relates to how people plan when they go browsing for nice places to stay. If you write and explain what it's like there to people who are not from there, that can drive a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I totally agree on that, Marcus. And to be very honest, I have my own experience. So I traveled to a destination close to my home for a weekend. And the biggest surprise that I got there and city was in full lockdown, meaning I spent the weekend locked in a room because there was no restaurant other than pick up. So I went to a destination to be locked there as like, because if I had the information that the whole city is locked down, that would maybe shift my destination towards another destination. And making sure that people have that information is crucial, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what's really important for property managers to keep in mind, because as we operate locally, and we might know the people that have visited our location the last 20 years, that demographic might have changed. And maybe you're familiar with the people that used to come 5-10 years ago. But now if there's new kind of people like Luis, I'm pretty sure you haven't been a tourist in that town before. You only went there now. And if figure out, are they in lockdown? Then if you're not in lockdown, that's a huge selling point. And also figure out things like maybe you need to advertise the weather differently if your previous type of customers were used to different things. So the selling points that you use to advertise your property have really changed, and you can do that quite easily by talking to the guests that are making a booking. Ask them about where they're from, what their life is like, what are the restrictions in place where they're from, and then use that knowledge to attract more guests of the same kind.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And also in our site in booking.com, we do allow to have that change in place. We even have a special section in the extranet, not about the destination, but about property, safety and cleaning and all the procedures that they do have in place. And moving forward, impact awakening. So over half, 50%, 53% of global travelers wanting to travel more sustainably. So in the future. So there's also a shift in the eyes for the destinations as it goes for more sustainability. How those destinations take care of their environment, and that is impacting how travelers are choosing the final destinations. It seems like we see a 2021 more eco-conscious mindset for the travelers. More than 2/3, meaning 69%, expect the travel industry to offer more sustainable travel options, and travelers will consequently visit alternative destinations in a bid to avoid traveling during peak season. that meant 51%, and overcrowd want to be avoided by 48% of the travelers that answered our research. There are also strong signals for travel operators to be more transparent about how travelers' money is being used to rebuild a community, paving the way for more regenerative tourism. Two-thirds, 67% of respondents indicate that they want the travel choice to also support the destination's recovery efforts. And more than a half want to see how the money is going back into the local community. So there's also this shift, overlooking, I'm more conscious. I think that's the crowd impacts that a lot. So you start looking for small destinations, let's say like this, small cities, small places, and you see different values on those ones.
Yeah, once again, this is a great trend that I think many haven't even unleashed the potential there, because now that people are sitting at home and browsing, they're probably reading the descriptions a lot more detailed than before. And as this is a clear trend when it comes to the consumer behavior, if you have solar panels, just spell it out. If you're working in a community where tourism is important, mention that and say that you're supporting a local community of hardworking people. Those are values that that people believe in, and they will. Yeah, if they're busy and they need to just book a quick business trip, then they probably don't have time to read those descriptions. But that's not reality right now. Reality is that people are sitting at home and they're dreaming of a getaway, and they're willing and they're capable of spending a lot of time reading those descriptions. So really put some effort into it and keep these trends in mind in order to get that final push over the border to actually make the booking.
Yeah, totally agree on that. And moving forward, we have bye bye 9 to 5. There's a new word that comes on, when you talk with research, and of course we put it together, but it's like workation. I mean, like, it's just like pretty much everyone's working from home today, right? It's different scenario than we have in the past, but it doesn't. Why am I working at my house? It means I can be working anywhere in the world. Of course, there are travel restrictions, but I could easily be, traveling to some destination around here together with my family, rent a vacation rental, have my family together with me, but I will still do my work during the days in a different destination. So we see that, for example, over a third, 30%, 37% of the travelers reveal that they already considered booking somewhere to stay in order to work from a different destination. In 2021, workers will continue to maximize the trips they do take, with over half of the travelers saying they would take the opportunity to extend any business trips to also enjoy leisure time at the destination. Travel platforms and places to stay will prioritize showcasing home office facilities and Wi-Fi speed in attempt to attract this new wave of digital nomads. So just like you mentioned, Marcus, that's clear, right? It's having the right information in place. Sometimes you have a vacation rental, but you do have a desk in that place that could be be used for work while you're in the destination. Also, Wi-Fi is high priority. Internet in general is high priority for everyone in this new wave, where people are working from everywhere. You just need to have a computer, a cell phone, and a good internet connection. You're going to be able to go, right? So that's also some good information to have displayed in your page itself, showing that. We
That
also
has
see it.
been, sorry, that has been one of the pet peeves actually for many years of mine, is that of course all places advertise internet. You know if they don't offer internet, but there's very few places that don't. But when you're going somewhere and you need work, like I need right now, I need a good internet connection for the sound and the image. Then it doesn't matter if it has internet or not. What matters is, does the internet work? Is it reliable? Is it all the time? Is it fast enough? And if we look at just this slide here, they're sitting out on a deck next to some lovely water. That's great, but does the internet work there? Because they're sitting in front of their laptops if you have Wi-Fi that extends well enough to do a video call on the deck, definitely advertise that, because it's something that has been missing for years. Property managers haven't really been able to communicate how well the internet is working. And right now, I think this is something that will stay even without restrictions. So many companies are saying that, you know, you can work from home or work from wherever you want. Even if only half of them go back to normal, then there's still a huge amount of travelers who will want to travel for longer periods and also work. And that's when it's important to have a good workstation and have proper internet. So when you look at your own portfolio, make sure that you kind of clearly identify those which you want to advertise as a good working destination, because not all of the locations are good for work.
That's true, and I can also add it. For example, we saw recently, not very recently, but it's, you know, the pet-friendly accommodation. So there was a high tag and everything like that. That was something that everyone mentions around. But today, with the new real game, we call it, let's say like this, work-friendly destination or location for you to stay, because it's part of the new normal to have that facilities. And moving forward, simple pleasures is what we put here. So as we learn to live with the consequences of the pandemic in 2021 and beyond, travelers will be keen to embrace a new stripped back way of experiencing the world. Over 2/3 of the travelers, 69%, will look to appreciate more simple experience, such as spending time outdoors with the family while on vacation. Use of simple pleasure-related endorsements such as hiking, clean air, nature, and relaxation on Booking.com have increased since the start of the pandemic. Over half, 50%, 56%, will seek out a more rural, off the beaten track experience to immerse themselves into the outdoors. That's also, you know, considering a shift from behavior. Sometimes you didn't even think about that, but now it's something that we see trending and rising on our side with the filters that we have in place and everything like that. So that's also a new trend that's coming, and we think that 2021 will show a lot more on that one. And for the last, technology. Technology will play a big role on the whole scenario, right? We see that the drive of the usage of mobile phones with all the facilities, that's something that's new. You know, since moving from checking, keyless checking with QR codes or whatever you can think of, technology will play such a huge role on this scenario that's coming. Rebuilding traveler confidence, and we will see the accelerated use of tech to adapt to a new type of traveler. So tech will help us regain the spontaneity, confidence, and ease of times past, while at the same time people travel safely and being more responsible. 64% of the travelers agree that technology will be important in controlling health risks when traveling, and 63% says that accommodations will need to use the latest technology to make travelers to feel safe. Even more than a half, 53%, we want tech options to make last-minute restaurant reservations. And almost a quarter, we want more self-service machines instead of ticket desks. Sorry. This reliance on technology will only continue to grow as tech proves its worth and becomes more and more ingrained into our travel experience. Once again, it's just looking the whole scenario. Technology will play a key role, you know, making things easier during the process of making a reservation or a check-in process or finding the right destination. Everything that's is related. And I would like to highlight as well, clarity on the informations will be crucial moving forward.
Yep, I can maybe mention on behalf of Hostaway what we've done with this is we built up our partner network. So we have, for example, monitoring solutions such as NoiseAware and a Minute, Also, the demand for remote locks have skyrocketed. That's really important that the clients can get in using technology rather than more old school methods. We have several partners on our marketplace. Two things that we are working on this year. One is getting the rental agreements electronically, and that's going to be launched soon. Another thing is improving our guest portal that allows the guests to just click on one link and go and explain any wishes or make changes to the reservation as they wish, which is also an excellent revenue source for the property managers.
Awesome. And that was pretty much it. I would just like to step in the last slide, this one. So there is some data around the research that we ran. It was made during 12 months, over 20K travelers and all over the globe. All right. And this survey was finished. It was put together in July last year. So it's pretty up to date. But yeah, I think there are very good insights on that one. On that piece. Now I'll stop sharing my screen. Sure, here. Yep, I think that was pretty much it from me, Marcus.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining. I hope that that everyone got some value out of this. Keep in mind that as the demand has changed, you may know your guests from before, but just talk to them a little bit more. We need a more friendly world. They may have a lot of insights, and I think these big trends that Luis here presented, like sustainable travel, traveling close to home, nature, new experiences, those are things that you probably already have, but you may not be marketing them in a way that the consumers know they're out there. So make sure you take every opportunity for that. Also, one thing about the amenities, people, when they have more time, they get more picky. And it's very important that that your properties are visible to people who want a work desk, they want a swimming pool, and then they want to be next to the beach as well. And what we've done in Hostaway is really improved for all OTAs, the possibility to adjust these amenities. And the OTAs, including Booking.com, have clearly also identified this more granular need by adding more amenities. So we're constantly up to date on that list. But yeah, that's it from us. Thank you everyone for joining. If you have more questions later, if you're an existing customer, you can contact our support. And if you want to reach us to discuss anything else, just go on our website, hostaway.com, and sign up, and we'll be in touch.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Marcus, for having me. And yes, please invite me for more rounds and webinars like this. I'm glad to join.
Thank you very much, Luis. And thanks everyone for joining. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.